Hey, it's Matt Plapp, and I am here with a special guest to do a quick little build and some stuff about ManyChat and Zapier. I'm here with Jeff Cubinski, and Jeff and I have met through a couple of the groups that we're involved with. And the thing that impressed the heck out of me with Jeff is that he's the opposite of me. So him and I would get along really good. I'm the loudmouth sales marketing guy that does this stuff. Jeff's the behind the scenes guy that can build bots and zaps like nobody else. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the introduction, Matt. Really appreciate it.
So today, the reason I wanted to do this was I've gotten a lot of people that have messaged my page, me personally, that are always asking about Facebook Messenger bots and Zapier. And I actually had somebody the other day says, is it Zapier or Zapier? I said, you know what? Tomato, tomato, call it what you want to call it. What I want to talk about today is getting into the power of Messenger bots. And I think what I'll kick it off with is I had a little epiphany today on a flow I'm working on, and you and I were just talking about. I'll show it to show a couple easy things that are possible, and then I want to get into and turn the screen over to you and let you show what you do, talk about what's possible, because I think that's where a lot of people are missing out. Business owners more than likely are not going to get into this stuff very much, and so it's going to take people like myself and you and other professionals to help them realize and build things they can put in play. Because, like, for example, I've got a lot of RV and boat dealers we're working with. And it's great on Facebook when we have an ad that works and we get people comment and share and like it. It's even better when they comment and it goes in the Messenger and a conversation starts. And so I can send via Zapier a lead via text to the salesman that here's Matt Plapp. He's interested in this unit, this, and this. It makes the conversation easier versus just calling up. So I think that's some things we'll show today. And you're going to show us some cool stuff on lead scoring. Let me go ahead and share my screen here and pull up something. Let me find it. So something I work with a lot of people know is restaurants. And, I was looking at, this is a test page I have where we do some kind of test programs on. So people don't go like the page because you'll get a bunch of fake offers that aren't good anywhere. You go to a place called Joe's Locally and go to get a free appetizer, like, oh, we've never seen this, sir.
Yeah.
But the one thing I was playing with today, and I've got a few products we use that incorporate with Messenger, like mobile sophistication. I have a couple other products that we use with email. And I was thinking to myself, what's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit that we can build that'll get somebody involved with a company's Facebook page, into Messenger and a subscription, get their contact information, and then give them something they can walk in the restaurant and use. And so went through and I built a couple little things I'll walk through here, nothing complicated. So somebody's going to see a Facebook post like this one, comment below, get a free appetizer. And again, this is a fake page. Comment below, type the word free. We're trying to get them engaged, trying to get them to comment. And the minute they do that, they're then going to go into this automation we've built, which is pretty basic. And we're going to dress this up. This was done literally in 5 minutes. Granted, I use it a little more than some people. And Jeff could probably do what I do in 5 minutes in 1 minute. But the concept is once they comment on that post, it will deliver this. It's going to do a couple of things. Number one, it's going to deliver this picture. I envision this being a graphic with free appetizer, free pizza, whatever it is. And then it's got a disclaimer below what it is. And then it's got server, click here to redeem. The minute the server person clicks here to redeem, it goes to a next message. I'll show you that, if you click this, make sure you're actually redeeming it. And then from there, it fires off to a, how much was your check today? They input the information. It sends it to Zapier. Thank you. And the cool part about this is that if I go to this message and look, and I went through it myself a couple minutes ago, so I see that ad and I click the ad and it sends me a message. Do you want to opt into this? Yes, baby. Sends me the information, sends me the offer. I click redeem. Do you really want to redeem this offer? This must be done in the restaurant at the time of payment. That way it's kind of a fail safe because some consumers are going to click that thinking that means they get to see something different. And so that way they should see this and go, okay, I'm not going to click the second one. And if they do, they read it, it says, you just bring this to the restaurant. They click it again. It asks how much their check was. It tells, I put in there $75. Thank you for your business. Stay tuned for our next VIP offer. And what I've got set up is 2 zaps. I've got 2 things set up here on this particular one. I've got a new subscriber. So the minute that somebody opts into ManyChat, it's going to create a spreadsheet for them on a Google Sheet. I'll show you that in a second. And then the second part is the minute they redeem it, it's going to add the information from the redemption into the spreadsheet. Now, in this one, once I build this out, there'll be multiple steps. There'll be reminders. 8 days later, they'll get an email. And Jeff and I were talking about, what the possibilities are with sending an email. You could say, go to your Messenger for your offer, or you could probably even say, you could probably use the ref URL. We got to investigate that doesn't fire off a new sequence, but there might be a way to send them a ref URL link in the email to talk about that. But I'll switch screens and go to this and show you the Google Sheet, because this is, nothing complicated. But I know a lot of people that are involved in this stuff are new to using Zapier, but this is what it does. I've got literally 2 things. The first Zap I showed you, pops the new subscribers' information on there. First name, last name, email, Facebook ID. And I do this so that if in the future I want to send them something else, or if when I'm doing the Zapier workflow, I want to send a reminder, I can look up their Facebook user ID in here and resend it. And then here it is. This is the one I showed you, me spending $75. First name, last name, email, Facebook user ID, the offer, the tag that came through, and the dollar amount. So now I'll be able to create a totals page, see how many people redeemed the offer, how much they spent, good things there. One question I'll ask you, Jeff, and maybe you can help me because I don't know why it does this. Why do some of the Facebook IDs come across like this?
Actually, you need to change the format of the column. If you go to format and you go here, let's see, more formats on the bottom, and custom number formats. Pick the top one.
Okay, there you go.
Wow.
We learned something. I always thought, and it's funny because I've got some where I would just go up here and I would click the automatic, and a lot of times 90% of them would be correct, but then there's a few that are garbled up there. So as you see what I just showed you, what are some opportunities you see there that could be added or changed, or that you don't like what I did?
Well, I think it's definitely a very streamlined process, and I think it's going to be, easier for the end user to understand how it all works. As we were talking in mobile sophistication, a lot of people don't know what the mobile card is on their phone. They don't understand that technology quite yet. I think it's more popular in the European countries than it is in the US at this time. So I think it's a learning curve, and I think it's going to get here. And I think sometimes you need to simplify the process, and I think that you definitely have a very streamlined process. And so now your client would have this, correct? And they can see the prices and stuff as what's spent.
Yep. Yeah. What we do is when we create these, we will actually create a duplicate so that they can't mess the data up, because I have had that happen where they get in here and they delete. So what I do is I create a duplicate, and we've got I'll show you one right now. Actually, this will give you an idea. This works really well. So let's see here. There we go. So you can see this is a Google Sheet that is populated, right? There's a lot of information that's showing up for you. But none of these cells actually have anything in them. The cell that has something in it actually is this one up here. There's this long drawn out formula that is pulling the information. This code right here, if I go back to this Joe's Brew House and I double click this, usually it does.
Okay, sure.
It's this code right here, and it's pulled for that particular client. It's pulling that into here, and it populates this whole page. That way, the client, if they were to delete something in here, it's not deleting it from there.
Oh, sure. Yep.
And they have access to it. Yeah, that's what we do there. But I mean, when I was looking at this was I've got some restaurants that don't have the budgets other ones do. My mobile sophistication product I've got, and a couple other ones I've got, have a lot different features to them. The mobile sophistication has the push notifications. It's got a lot of things you can do there. You can't do on this, but this is something I'm looking at for clients that might have smaller budgets, or honestly might have 50 locations, and this would be a lot easier sequence to build for a large chain versus 50 passes. every month.
Right.
And then also something white labeled, something we could price out and say, hey, this is X amount of dollars. And if you're a restaurant that understands Facebook ads, we can help hook this up to your Facebook ads for you.
Right, right. Yeah, I know. As we were talking before, is all the new technology is great, but every piece that you add to the to the puzzle is something that's an opportunity to possibly break. And so the more things you have connected, the more babysitting a lot of times you have to do.
I remember one of my first zaps I built for this current flow was 78 steps.
Oh, gee.
And I was pretty new at Zapier. I mean, I had used it, and we have it for other things happening, but I just had all sorts of stuff in there. And I remember contacting Zapier. I'm like, hey, there's something wrong with your platform. They're like, what do you mean? And I showed them the Zap. They're like, dude, that's 78 steps. Every time you make a change in one step, it goes through the cycle. And so it's going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so I've kind of learned my mistake there, and I still have one going with that many. I haven't rebuilt that one, but I've got a bunch of 20 to 30. But it was a task.
Yeah.
So you were talking about, before we started here, about a scoring idea.
Yeah. One of the things that you can do is, let's say you have pre-qualifying questions, or you have some kind of quiz where you're going to score each answer, and then you want a total. And then what you can actually do is you can then, based on the total, you could put them in different sequences. So, let's say you rate your house. Let's say you're a real estate agent and you want to get some qualifying questions of a potential seller and what condition their house is in, at least based on their eyes.
Okay.
What have you done? And then you could rate each question based on a value, and then total that up, and then you could kind of determine what you want to do with that. Or let's say you are a coach and you want to qualify your potential clients, and you're going to ask some questions and you're going to rate them. And so we can do that in a Messenger bot. And what we would use is Zapier to actually total it. You could use Google Sheets. I know other people have. Though you can use Zapier and the code by Zapier to total it up. So, we can take a look at that.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Share my screen. All right. There. Get rid of that. So I'm going to go to my test account. So I've already built something like that. And so what I called is rate my house. And within this flow, what we're going to do is go into that, edit this. We'll edit. So basically, it just starts out generally, rate my house now, and then it kind of goes into a greeting message, goes into say, yep, I'm ready to do it. And then we're just going to go through some questions. And within these questions, and you could do this, like I said, for any type of qualifying, is, this one is your house older than 10 years old? And in there, what we're going to do is we're going to perform an action. They say yes, and we're going to give this yes a value of 3. If they say no, then we're going to give a value of 1. And so you just base your questions on what you feel the value is on each one.
So let me ask you a question. When I was talking earlier about my redeemed, how I've got the spreadsheet, and I've got a column that says they redeemed it, and I've got my dollar amount.
Yep.
I could apply an action that when the user inputs that check total, a value of 1, and meaning that they redeemed 1 offer, and add that to my Google Sheet, couldn't I?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then we go on to the next question. Same thing. We're going to do an action. Yes is a 3. No is a 1. And then Go to the third one and just ask, hey, you got a 2-story home, doing the same thing again. No is an action of 1. And then we have the final thing. Thanks for answering, and we'll get the results soon. And so what I did is in Zapier, created a Zap. Let me find it here. State buyer, survey tally. So based on a tag, so what I did is, well, I'll go back here. So based on a tag, it's going to fire the Zap. And what I was doing at the end of the mini chat is when they were in the last question, once they answered the last question within here, we had 2 different actions. One was the value into a custom field, and then I tagged them as done with the survey. So by tagging them with done the survey, it fired this Zap off.
Okay.
And then we're going to run some JavaScript to add up the total, and then we're going to send a message back to the ManyChat user, and then we're going to update the custom field with the total, and then you can send content to the user based on their answer, and then remove the tag. I just was doing that so that I could actually retest it every time. Not have to remember to remove the tag. So go through this in here. So your mini chats, new tagged user. Into the test, my everything bot test account. And here's a tag done with survey. So that's going to trigger the Zap. And then we go into this step is actually code by Zapier. And so what this allows you to do is actually run JavaScript in the Zap. You don't have to go and use Google Sheets to total it and stuff. And so you pick code with Zapier. I'm going to run, you can run Python or JavaScript. And then here's the input data. And so if we go back here and look at, I'm going to go look at myself in the audience, because I have run this once before. I have basically the question, answer 1 value is 3, answer 2 value is 1, answer 3 value is 3. And then we do have a total here unknown.
Show your profile, the whole thing. Like scroll down a little there.
Okay.
I want people to envision this for a lot of industries, because this is information that could be easily zapped to a salesperson or zapped to a real estate agent or zapped, a text message. If you're a car dealership and you're trying to pre-qualify people through Facebook ads and you ask a series of questions, I mean, it can be pretty valuable. You get a text message that says, hey, Matt, here's a customer's name, email, phone number, what type of car they're looking at, how much they want to spend. I mean, that allows you to start the conversation when you talk to them versus calling them up and going, hey, I understand you're interested in a car. I understand you're interested in a mortgage. I understand you're interested in a house. You now have what you can start the conversation off and really kind of be ready for.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that's awesome point. Yeah, this information definitely can trigger that one you said, help them with the initial conversation when they're on the phone the first time. And 2 is just you can use it to segment, and we'll kind of look at that as far as the total as we get through here. So those 3 values from those 3 questions are coming in here. And then here is the JavaScript code. It's basically going to take that number, the input data A1, input data A2, input data A3, add it together and put it in a calculated number. That's the field that will be used down the road here within this Zap. And then you can continue, go to the message. Again, now what we're going to do is we're going to send this message back to the user. And from step 1, because we tagged them, or the tag got fired off, that we have their ID, their ManyChat ID, and now we can send it. We have their first name coming in there. And basically I can send the score from step 2 to them. And then step 3, or no, step 4, I mean, is the ManyChat set the custom field. We go into that, and then we come back in, and we're going to find, again, we're going to use that ManyChat ID to find that user. And then value custom field is a total. And so that was the one right here that has unknown right now. And the data would come through that way.
Yeah, so that would actually pop it in there.
Right. And then step 5 is we're going to send this user content. And basically what it is I'm going to send them a message that I had set up. Rate my house message too. So I could send them a message, and what I was doing here is based on the total. And so let's say the total greater than 34. Granted, with the values I had, I was doing this demo for somebody that was doing something that was adding up higher number. And he said, well, from 1 to, I don't remember what it was, 1 to 25, he wanted a certain message. And then from 26 to 33, he wanted a different message. And then at 34 and above, he wanted another message. So what I did is when you're in the Zap here, and you can do 2 things right now in Zapier to a ManyChat user. You can send them a general message, which we are doing right here, a text message, or you can assign them to some message or sequence that's in ManyChat right now. Those are the 2 ways you can do it at this time until the API opens up, which should be in the next couple months, where they're going to allow you to probably do galleries, images, all those types of things from the outside, sending them in and using the API. Right now, the way Zapier is set up with ManyChat, that's not open yet. So what we're going to do is here, we're going to assign them to this sequence, and then based on their total, they will get different messages. So, here's a message 35 or greater. And with this condition, let's say it wasn't this one, it was greater than 34. Yes, you're going to send a message. No, you're going to go to another condition, and you're going to check, is it less than 26? Yes, it is. No, it's not. Then it's in between, and you send a different message. So you can definitely segment what type of message you send to whose total equaled, or equaled whatever it was. So qualifying through those questions, you can do that kind of stuff. And then at the end, I just took the tag off. So I think this is useful in many different ways that you can use it in many different industries. So
all over the place. I mean, it's unbelievable, because I think that, like, I've got from ManyChat, I can't use this on something I'm working on yet, but I've got a program I roll out in March 1st. We're going to roll out a little February, but March, and it's a whole organic marketing attack for myself to help market myself to a really high qualified funnel of leads that we're reaching out to. And one thing we're doing is we're using Zapier to populate a Google Sheet on columns of, if somebody opened the email, they get a 1. If they click the email, a link, and then they get 2, they get a 1. If they watch the video, a certain percentage, they get a score. If they click the link on the landing page to schedule an appointment, they get a score. And then obviously they schedule an appointment, they're in there. But it allows us, we're going to use Zapier to communicate that back into Pipedrive, our management product, that'll score people. So that if we've got 100 people a week going into this funnel, we don't have the bandwidth to call 100 people that, especially when 75 didn't open the email. But we've got the bandwidth to open up 15 or 20 that open the email, click the email, watch the video. And it kind of helps you work backwards. Oh my gosh, these guys all clicked the link to schedule an appointment, but didn't. I'm starting to think as you were doing that, I'm sure I could, in some of my ads I'm running for businesses, probably do some similar things in there to pre-qualify.
Yep.
I could see this on a lot of things from a standpoint of the more information you get from somebody in a sequence like this, and
just think about, if you have 10 qualifying questions and you get people on the phone and you have to go through the questions, and at the end of the 10 questions, they didn't score high enough, they're not a good candidate for your product, your service. Now you're going to have to tell them right on the phone, hey, I'm sorry, you just don't qualify. And you've just spent a lot of time, where you can automate that process to weed out the people that just don't qualify. Their score isn't high enough. And you could send them a message. You could say, I'm unfortunately, sorry, you haven't qualified for this offer. And you could send them something else or a different service, and not just blow them off.
Oh, yeah.
Do that, but it's all automated. You didn't spend a lot of time doing it that way.
That's awesome. I like it. The one thing that always cracks me up whenever I see these flows, it reminds me of my kids, and even me when I was a kid. It's like, okay, if Dad says this, I'm going to say this. If he says this, I'm saying this. That's right. When I see these. But I'd say what I love about these is, the ease of dragging those places and organizing. And that was the hard part before they rolled this out, and I'll give a round of applause in mini chat, before they rolled this out and you looked at the old view, it was hard to visualize, because you would have the basic builder. You would have, okay, here's my sequence, and I got these messages over here, and this goes there. And I can't tell you how many times I had 2 or 3 extra messages built, not even using them. And then when the flow came out, I remember when it first came out, I was looking at it, I'm like, I got like 4 tags. What are these for?
Yeah, I know. Because if you go, I just clicked on the top of the basic builder. That's what it is. There you go. You have condition, you have the message.
And it doesn't tell you where it's going. It doesn't tell you what it's doing.
No, and you're exactly it. They're just all stacked on here, and then you have to click on each one and build them separately that way.
Yeah.
So, the flow builder just makes it so much easier. And the thing is, too, is it's this, and then you just want to add a condition. You just click on it. Now you can move it up here and, put it wherever you want. So,
you gave me you helped me on one of my flows, because one of the things I had happening was on my restaurant workflow. I'm putting people into a program where they get offers, and I don't want them to get the same offer twice. And so I have fail-safe set up to where they can't get it twice. Well, then one of the negatives I came across was, well, crap, the people can't get it, but they're not notified. And so you gave me the condition idea where I moved my starting point, and I created a new post that said, if people come into here and if they have the tag, they go up here and get this message that says, sorry, you're already in our program. If they don't have the tag, they go to the bottom. And that was, it's a simple step, but it's a great little offer.
Yeah. Well, and you just brought up a very good point, because you can move this.
Yep.
That is a great thing about the flow builder, is that you can move this around to where you want it to start. You gotta get the stick turn green. And and now you can start with condition. I just found out today, because I'm building a bot sequence for a chiropractor, and he does deal with Hispanic, and a good portion of Hispanic, though we still want an English version. I need to convert and create a Spanish version and an English version, though you can actually do a condition. And you can check the condition can check the language of the person's Facebook profile.
What?
Yes. Yes, you can do that. Let's see if I can throw one out here.
Can I get a flow built for the mood that my wife is in?
Yeah, see here, right here. I did a new condition. It's language. And so you can just say language is English.
I've never seen
language is Hispanic or Spanish or whatever it is. I posted it in the group, and somebody said, yeah, you can do this. I'm like, whoa. So you still have to, it's not going to translate, based on that. It would be nice if you picked Spanish and it translated it automatically, and it doesn't do that yet. Though
And I've got a few friends that want me to introduce you to them that do what we do that are Hispanic, that are Spanish speaking.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
What other information can you pull into ManyChat from Facebook? Can you obviously you get first name, last name, gender. What's the information you can get out of Facebook that comes automatically?
That's it is. It's listed right here. Gender, locale. I'm not sure. I think that's the location that your personal page says. Language, time zone, full name, first name, last name. Obviously, you're subscribed. This is within ManyChat. Last interaction, last seen. So those things actually you could use in some conditioning within ManyChat. But it's pretty basic. It's just these things right here. I didn't know language was coming in.
I didn't know that.
But these are the items. They don't give you the phone number and stuff. Now you can, and I've seen it happen. And I'm going to be doing. I have that my YouTube channel. That's for Cub Media Vox, and I'm doing a video every Tuesday, and one of them I was going to show that you can. I forgot what I was going to say. Bring in. Using a Facebook lead form when you're doing a Facebook ad, instead of using a landing page or anything or sending them right to Messenger, you can actually use a Facebook lead ad that would gather, you could get the phone number, the email address and stuff right in that. And then the button on the last page of that lead ad form, you can send them the Messenger. And now, through Zapier, then you would have all that information as well. So it's a little different way to collect it if you wanted to. So
now, birthday though, you have to ask the birthday. You can't pull that from the profile, can you?
Yeah, no, you'd have to ask for the birthday. Yep.
That'd be great if you could. I wonder why it pulls gender. I wonder what the significance is there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what rhyme or reason that they did that. So Facebook obviously doesn't open up to all the data. I mean, all the data that they have on us, they're not disclosing much of that. So
now, one thing I noticed the other day, there used to be a content setting. You used to be able to upload content, and it moved or it's gone. Have you seen that?
To upload content from?
Like for example, in Zapier, you can send a zap. You can send content. Like I could send a picture. And I don't see that in ManyChat anymore. So if you go to send, right there, send content to user.
Yeah, you can send content to user, but you can't send. You can send content to user. Basically, if I expand all these, subscriber, user, send a text message. You can add a tag. You can
unsubscribe. If you go back in the ManyChat, and there used to be an option to add content. Now it's not there anymore.
Add content to?
Just like to add content. Like you used to be able to literally go in there. There was an option below flows. You could add content and you could put a picture and that was the content you sent with ManyChat. Now it's considered a flow, I guess.
Yeah, they changed this. It used to, on this left hand, it used to say content.
Yeah.
Yep. And now they changed it to flows.
So like if now to create content, if I just want to send one picture, it doesn't even need to be content anymore. It could be send a sequence, right? And it would be the same.
Yeah. I think this send content to user was associated to this content, menu item. Yeah. Because it kind of goes one-to-one, and then they just in the last month they changed this to flows.
Yep.
And they never changed this because I'm assuming this should say send flow to user.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I noticed that the other day because we've got a couple of our programs that we like Dairy Queen. It sends them a picture of the blizzard, and we've got that in there as content from months ago, and now it's not in there anymore. I was trying to figure out where they moved it, or if I figured it was in their flows. I just didn't know if that.
Yeah. So, yep.
Well, what do you see are some uses, some things that business owners could take away from this, or that marketers could take away? I mean, the opportunity is endless, right? As far as how to use Messenger.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway I take from Messenger marketing it's kind of the same idea with social media marketing. It's the long game. It's not necessarily a short game. And what you're doing here is creating a one-to-one relationship with your audience.
Yeah.
The open rates, obviously, with email is 20 to 30%, where here is 80 plus right now. And I think it's because of that. Well, one, it's new. Two is a lot of people are on Messenger. Three, though, you are creating that one-to-one, and that you can't get in an email drip campaign. You're not going to get that interaction as much as you are through Messenger. And
it's unbelievable. Now that you mentioned, let me show something. Let me steal the share from you.
Okay.
I want to show you this because I think this goes right with what you're talking about. Let's see which account am I going.
One of the things with the chiropractic Messenger,
how did you get the screen
system that I'm putting together is I want the chiropractors to do live Facebook weekly.
Yeah.
And once you build your audience within ManyChat, you can automate the notifications to your audience that you're going live.
I didn't know that.
So now they're going to watch those videos right on their phone. So wow. I think it's a huge opportunity to play the long game in the marketing scheme. Not to say you can't run ads, you can't run the offers and stuff like that within Messenger marketing. But if you're only looking at that part, I think you're missing out on the big picture.
Yeah, definitely. I was showing a client this year. Like, I'll show you this one. So this is a brewery restaurant we're working with, and he's only. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with the numbers. He's only a month in at about a $700 ad spend, and where wow. I think we started December 12th, I think. Yeah, so we're December 12th. Yeah. We're a month and a week in, a month and a couple of days in, and you can see the growth. And a lot of it happened. I turned the ads off during Christmas. I did some organic stuff because the costs were stupid. But it rises and rises. But the cool thing about it is, like for example, we have 1,158 people that subscribe. Well, our program is going after emails as well. Yep. Of those 1,158, 1057 have given us their email. That's what this is. Download a VIP offer. I'm going to get that.
Right.
So that's over 90%. I mean, that's pretty solid. And this is a guy that had no email list. So he's now got a brand new email list and a brand new Messenger list.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about it, this really is what got my attention in Messenger, was when I go through, so here's the sequence they get, are you ready for your free appetizer? Yes. Now, free looks yum. What's your email address? Email, boom, there's the offer. And when I go in here, you go to the archived one. So we clear them out pretty frequently. I've got a VA that helps run this. But people, you never get a thank you. Nobody responds to an email from a restaurant and says thank you.
Yeah.
I know because I manage hundreds of these. And you keep going in here and you can look. Let me find some here. There's another one. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. Big teeth, smiley face, winky eye. There's a lot of them. We get a lot of those to people that do this. That I could probably go through here and find hundreds of them.
Sure.
Where they've commented to us, they've sent us a message. And now the one thing I will say that is one of the reasons we had to increase our staff at Driven Media is that there is work in these accounts, because email and text message, you send a message out, it goes in your sent mail, it goes in a sent text, you don't have an inbox. In Messenger, let me try and find one that's full. Let me look here and see which one's gotten a lot of action in the last couple of minutes. This guy's ads were turned off. Let's see, Dairy Queen.
Oh, it is, and I think that's what you're hitting the nail on the head, is that it, as I had mentioned before, it's a one-to-one conversation. And people want to respond back to you, and you respond to them. And I think that's one of the parts where you've hired some staff as a service to your clients to make sure that these are getting answered. And just say, if somebody says thank you, you want to say you're welcome. You want to keep that conversation going. That builds credibility, trust, and everything with your audience.
And it also doesn't hurt. Also doesn't hurt your It doesn't hurt your scoring with Facebook. I'm sure it helps with Facebook in there as well with some of the stuff you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like here's here's an account that's a Dairy Queen we work with that this was cleared out this morning. So this was since lunchtime. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 or 15 that if you don't clear these out a couple times a day, it buries things. Like there might be somebody in here, like this person might be somebody in here that it said something that needed help, on an application, looking for directions. And if we don't go through and clear these things out, then they just sit there. And so, and the one thing also, you've got to remind people, and that's like this. Here's a good example. Here's somebody from 1 o'clock 3 hours ago that hasn't typed yes. And what I have found in here with this is that we have within 24 hours that it automates it. So like if she responds, if I send that tomorrow at this time and she responds, we have to manually put it in mini chat. But by her if she responds, within 24 hours of her commenting, it'll keep her in the sequence and go on its way. But what I found is a lot of these people, when they're on Facebook, if I'm in here and I comment on this, it doesn't pop up down here all the time. Or on my phone, it doesn't pop up the same way. Everybody's notifications are different. So it isn't that people are ignoring the promotion. They just didn't see it.
Right. Yep.
But I mean, it's pretty cool. It's neat to see. It's unique. Like you said, the conversations you can have with people, with companies, with consumers. But I'll say like this right here. When I first realized that the task it was going to take was when we were working with one of our Dairy Queens. And what we do is we send out an offer the first of the month every month. We'll send out a broadcast that says, hey, are you ready for XYZ offer? Do you want this? And they click yes to get it or no not to. And when they click yes, they subscribe again and they get their offer. But when you think about it, you send 971 people a Facebook message. You've now got 971 messages in your inbox.
Yeah.
And if of those 971, 400 opt back in for the next offer, now you've got 1,300 messages. And above those 1,300, 100 comment, now you've got 1,500. And so you've got to make sure you're on top of things.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's the one thing with that is the one thing with the messenger marketing is, I think, as we had talked about, it's that one-to-one relationship, and you're going to have a one-to-one conversation, and you definitely want to make sure that you're on top of it. If somebody's not ready for that, a client's not ready for it, doesn't have the staff or doesn't want to do it, messenger marketing isn't really going to fit for them. Yeah,
because it's a conversation. I say the same thing with reviews. I see a lot of reviews that go unanswered on businesses' pages. I'm like, I want you to think about this review this way. Yeah. You're walking down the hallway of your office, and somebody walks by you and says, "Hey, Jeff, I like that new shirt. Are you going to keep walking?"
Yeah.
No, you're going to go, "Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I got it for Christmas." And that's how these interactions are. That if you ignore that, like we get literally, I mean, we've got, 20 or 30 of those campaigns going at any time, and they're getting somewhere between 20 to 70. I mean, we had one day that hit 250 opt-ins in one day. So let's say an average of 30 pages at 20. There's 600 people a day that we're talking to at some point. And of those 600 people, about 100 reply back, thank you, or they have a question. And if that goes unanswered, you've got a problem, because now you got a customer you didn't talk to. And also you got an opportunity to talk to them and have a conversation.
Right. Yep. And I think, we were talking about email and stuff. Email's not dead. I think it has its place as part of this. It's just, when I look at it, it is two different types of communication. And I think a lot of people with the businesses, as we're talking, to get into messenger marketing, you have to understand what we just went across, is that you're having this conversation and you better be ready to continue that conversation. Whereas email, you can get a little lazy. You can send an email out and you can answer that email tomorrow. And some people are okay with that, because email's kind of at your leisure type of thing. Messenger, we're in this instant gratification society. And when you're messaging, you're usually looking for a response rather quickly, not tomorrow, not the next day, not the next month. So it's definitely something to think about. So
I agree. Well, cool. Well, that's all I've got. What's your YouTube channel? Can you share your screen and show us that so the people know they're on the same one, the right one, and then send me the link, and when I upload the video, I'll put it below there so people can check you out. Yep. Of all the people that I know doing this, you know, I know enough to be dangerous on this stuff. You are pretty dangerous on it. So.
Yeah, here it is. Once you get YouTube kind of changed their rules, and to get a custom URL, you need to have 100 subscribers. And I just started this. I got 17 subscribers just off my first video. I had 159 views in 6 days.
Nice.
So it's growing pretty quick, and I actually have a video to finish tonight. I got most of it. I have Camtasia here, and I got all the sections kind of loaded up. So basically getting that all finished up. And so if you go on to YouTube, and it's Cub Media Vox, basically my name right here. And if you go out there, like a video, please like it, you know, share it with other people. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out, because we're going to do similar to what I went through and what Matt went through as well. There's always tips and tricks that you can use. And as we go, I'm in pretty close with the ManyChat developers, the CEO, Miguel, Andres, the support, Artem. There's a bunch of them Dan. There's a bunch of them that I know pretty well. I direct message them a lot, see what's going on. I'm being on the beta for the APIs opening up. There's going to have in-bot payments. That's coming up in the next month. That's in alpha right now. It should be in the beta soon. So look forward to some really heavy stuff where you can actually start connecting them to databases and a lot of stuff. It's going to open up the world to doing a lot of things. So.
Well, cool. Well, I'm excited, and I appreciate you spending some time with us, and we'll catch you around.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, sir.